In the late 19th century, Quakers began to settle in the Chehalem Valley around the town of Newburgh. These Friends began a number of smaller Friends meetings: Newburgh, Springbrook, Chehalem Center, Middleton, Rex, and Sherwood. As transportation became easier and folks were willing to travel to larger meetings, the smaller meetings began to struggle and merge with larger meetings. Chehalem Center, formed in 1894, and Springbrook, formed in 1882, were two of these meetings. In the late 1960s, Chehalem Center and Springbrook meetings began to discuss a merging of the two meetings.
Over the years, Springbrook and Chehalem Center Church had discussed merger more than one time. And at some points in time, Springbrook was anxious to do it, and at other years, Chehalem Center was anxious to do it. When we finally got around to discussing it, while some of us were there at Springbrook, Chehalem Center was ready. Springbrook was split. And I'll just have to say there was a substantial merger of the two churches. We met at Chehalem Center once it was merged.
When they reached the point of beginning to build, the first service that we had on site,
It was after the floor was poured.
the floor was poured and we had bales of hay sitting around. And we had the first service was outside because there wasn't anything else built but the floor.
A group of folks, mostly one person, Harold Ankeny, who assisted in the transition of merging the two churches. And that all happened before the Chehalem Center Church burned down. We had this property already.
The North Valley Meeting House was built primarily by members of the meeting. Paul Strait, who founded the company Climax, manufactured the brackets for the beams. Darrell Burton did much of the excavating. The meeting helped in almost every part of the building process. The same is true of the Fellowship Hall and Education Wings. North Valley also built the bell tower, which houses the Chehalem Center Meeting House bell, as well as the Chehalem Center School bell.
There certainly was intentionality about the shape of the sanctuary and the size of the sanctuary. The idea being that Quakers have a style of worship that needs to be more intimate, needs to be slightly less focused up front, but so you can see people around. And the size was consciously discussed. I'm remembering this very, very well now, that especially for times of open worship, there's a limited number of people that you can do that with effectively, I guess. And so we were shooting at a maximum sanctuary size of 250 people.